Well, good evening there. It's Monday. It is 7 p.m. We are live on the Mzansi Urban Facebook page and we're also live on YouTube. Yes, live on YouTube. So if Facebook Fisha, you can head over to YouTube and catch us live there. It is Men Up with Tshidi Lethwane, a platform where we speak to men because it is men conversations on a Monday. It is conversations with Tshidi, and every Monday we speak to a favorite man crush. So Njengenjwayelo, you know by now that when you see me, I'm not alone. I'm accompanied by a man. So today is no different. I told you we travel all 9 provinces and we are South African here. So today, Kile Limpopo, and I found myself a young man. He goes by the name of Mogale. Tonight, he'll be sharing with us his journey. He's going to be sharing with us the difficulties, the challenges, and how he overcame mental health. So before we go on and on and on about him, I'm going to give you a chance to know him. I'm going to give you a chance to meet him. So help me give a warm man up welcome to Mogale. Thabela Mogale.
Yay! Thank you very much, Tshidi, for hosting me tonight. I'm fantastic. You could see my massive smile, as always, is up to date.
Bona, you are here. You are. Can you Colgate? Can you Colgate? Yes, smile. Bona.
I can make the great ambassador. But yeah, I am Mogale, Molala.
Okay.
I call myself the pain advocate due to my past experiences. I'm also a pain coach and an author, of course, of The Untold Truth About Pain. I hate introducing myself for obvious reasons, but yeah, thank you very much for hosting me tonight. I'm so excited to be sharing my journey alongside
I
with
can
you.
see you are excited. Okay, today we host Ali 2000, so we're gonna be today. You didn't introduce yourself, so I'm gonna give you another opportunity. You just said briefly, hore umang pain coach, pain advocate, you're an author, but the reason I asked you to introduce yourself is so that our viewers, our audience, and our listeners can just get a feel of who you are and king edirang gore rofe this opportunity, man. They want to know because I also believe gore I can try introduce you, but I will not do you justice. So that's why I can introduce yourself so that leba go bona bare oh ke Mogale o be a men up and they know who you are and what you're about. So I'm going to ask you to say just who you are, where you are from, and what you do, and then we'll get into the conversation.
Why do you remind me of my first job interview? But tell us about yourself. But either way, yeah.
You must have that one. So tell us about yourself. This is an interview, not interview. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, ke Mulala, originally from Lethwane. I am turning 23 years old this November. And just a bit of a background. So I've been with my father for how many years? 9 years. Yeah, 9 years.
Okay.
And then from there, due to divorce settlement and custody battles, then the court decided that Mogale will have to choose between staying with your mom and your dad. And the difference between them was the financial stability and relatability. So my father was well off. He had the money. My mom was just a mere teacher teaching at the local high school. So right now, as a young Kasi boy, every dream is to be that cheese boy, you know. I want to go to fancy schools. Yeah, I get a chance to play rugby, cricket, you know, all these sporting codes as a young guy. So I had to choose between that opportunity of getting that access to all the things that I admired and all the things that I wanted. But I think that is one element that made me to be a bit mature at a young age. Because then when I look at my mom, we watched all my son together just before the day I went to court. this Nollywood movie, Oh My Son. So in that movie, they were showing how a stepson was being abused by a stepmom after his mother's passing. So from there, I got to choose, do I choose money or do I choose this love with my mom, right? And I went to court clearly. The first question they asked me, just to share with the listeners, because I feel like this is very interesting. To break the ice. Yeah, to break the ice, they said, Morale, when you grow up, what do you want to be? With anger, I said, I want to be a lawyer. And they said, why? And I told them that because I don't want any child to go through what I'm going through now. Because at that time, I don't think it was fair, or it is still fair, to choose between your mom and your dad. It's crazy. They're your parents and all of that. And whoever that I was choosing, which means I'm going to stay with, and the next one will not have access to me and all of that. It was a bit complicated and a messy situation. But all of those things built me into being this young man that I am. And I'm glad you said a young man, not a young boy. Thank you.
Well, we don't talk to boys here. We talk to men. We talk to men. Hence, men up.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Well, you went in deep there, and for someone that doesn't even want to introduce themselves, listen, you've told us your whole just the introduction. And what am I going to say? Oh, I'm going to fail the interview. So at least now we have a bit of a background to know what Mogale ke mang. Just out of interest, ke Mopedi, but I get your name. What does it mean? What does Mogale mean?
Wow. Actually, I am one of the kind, hey? Mogale ke Sarato Saga, so I'm supposed to be called Matibe, right? But I got the privilege that my first name is Reto and Gibito Casaret. So whenever somebody says Mogale, to me it's like, yeah, on board.
Like, you know? All honor. Like,
yes. So Mogale simply means hero. Wow. As you see, I think it resonates a bit more with also the work that I'm doing, that I'm here to rescue people. Yeah. So Mogale, in a nutshell, it's a hero.
I was about to say that that looking at your work and the work that you do, because I follow you on social media, or you follow me as well. I'm not the only one following you around. So I see the work that you do, and because you advocate for young people, and you speak to young people, and you help young people. I think it's a sort of which simply means for you follow your name. The actions live up to the name, and you end up your name being your purpose for that which you were sent molefatsing, and I'm happy to see that being Mogale, you are actually Mogale go di and those that are young and are younger than you. So well done. Kudos to you for that. Because not many people get to experience that, especially at a tender age of 23.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get us to relax because topic you're a brave young man that decided to come in and share with us your journey or your story on depression. Not many people do that, or not many people want to do that because the stigma of depression, we want to dissociate ourselves from that, and then there's name calling, there's all sorts of things that used to label depression. All right. So that everybody is clear, I went dictionary. So dictionary. Depression, according to the dictionary, is I hear it, but it's got a lot to do with a person's state of mind, Okay, yes, I found it. Depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. Loss of interest in doing stuff, interest in, you've had people, but I wasn't even interested in or I didn't even want to eat. So when we start, I want us when as we get into that, how did it all start? How did you discover Hore, I'm depressed? Because I think we all go through a phase where we are sad and we're not interested in doing anything. There's a weekend where you just feel I don't want to live this weekend, and you just close yourself up in the room. But I am guessing that with depression, it becomes consistent. It becomes
Yeah.
a habit. It becomes your daily way. Every day you don't want to live. So how did you come about in discovering or actually this is no longer it's a serious thing. I am depressed. How did we get there?
Okay, I think is a simple concept of cause versus effect, right? So me having to choose between two parents, as I already said, left me with this wound, that desire to always question ties, how my life will tend to be if my own father was still around. What kind of opportunities will I be exposed to? Most especially because after this drama, I had to go to boarding school, right, which was my dream, because I thought in the back of my mind that I'll be schooling with white people, I'll be enjoying all these things, only to find out there's actually a total opposite. That's when and all of that. So I got exposed to vendors, zongas and stuff like that in that boarding school, right? And then reality started to kick in that you are all alone because your mom is not there, your father is not there. Another particular moment in time, to get to my boarding school from home, it was about 3 to 4 hours drive. That time I was still staying in Mpumalanga. So meaning that I can only get home at the Boris weekend, like at the recess. But besides that, I cannot go home. And it hit home when people start to talk about their own fathers, start to talk about their parents, all of the proud moments. And then I start to reflect on my life and be like, I'm nothing like them. They have all these fleshy material things. Remember that time, that was the first time I got my expensive shoe, which was a Nike shoe, 300 rand. That was my first expensive shoe at date. To me, that was yes. But when I got there, I realized that was actually the cheapest shoe, and then you start to engage. Yeah. So that was the cause of depression. And then in me trying to fill in that wound of my father and of my mom, because it took time for me to relate with my own mother, to the barrier that existed. But whoever we have to respect them, have to do that. But I wanted to speak about my issues. I wanted to speak about things that are affecting me. I wanted to speak about how I'm feeling, So it was difficult then, most especially because also he was trying to be a father and a mother at the same time, which was absolutely impossible. So he was so strict that I felt like I'm being abused for some very weird reasons. So that was a bit of a background of it. And when I was trying to read in the wound, because I was seeking love and attention and affection from outside, started to be involved in multiple relationships. You see, right now I have 2 girlfriends, things will be better. Still, they're not better. Then I see a need to find the 3rd one, the 4th one, the 5th one, and on. The number goes on, But still, I'm trying to run away from what I'm feeling inside. Up until a point where I came into varsity, it's a different competing environment, and I had to draw my goals. I'm like, in order for me to be this person, this can't be happening. I cannot be in multiple relationships. I cannot be drinking, going all out, because I'm running away from what I'm feeling inside, right? I tried to spoke with my mom and my family that, guys, what initially happened between dad and mom? They said, Magali, problem you are too selfish. Papa and he does not care about you. You need to live with that. But to me, that 7 years or 9 years of experience, it was somebody that cared for me. It was somebody that took me very seriously. When I spoke, he listened. Unlike others, there was one person who understood me. So that on its own created things to become even worse. Then I started to live alone in my own room. Remember, I'm in university at that stage. I have all this access to go to classes or not, So I started not to attend lectures. Yeah, I started not to attend lectures. I was always in my room. It's either I'm drinking or I'm with my girlfriend or stuff like that. So that time I decided to dump everybody and have one stable girlfriend. So it happened that one time the girlfriend broke up with me, right? And she was the only person that I had at that particular moment in time, or at the back of my head, right? Then I took an overdosage of pills. Guess what? I woke up. I'm like, Nkosian, what's happening?
But
I wanna die.
Plan. This was
I wanna die.
Plan was
You know?
to meet my maker. Why am I up now?
Yeah. And I woke up very hungry. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna eat. I'm gonna take another pills. Then I took another ones. I woke up right now. I am numb. I can't do anything. I can't turn. I can't do anything. Fortunately, the girlfriend found me and she made food for me. And then she tried to speak to me to say, but Mali, this is not the end of the world. You can still live without me. You can still do this and that. That's when I seeked counseling. And when I seeked counseling, the first time it never worked out because I was not ready to receive help. And I was not also willing to receive help. But most importantly, because when they were speaking, asking me questions, like, why do I know about my father? You know, all of that.
So there was a trigger.
So, yeah. So it's like you take me back 10 years ago when all of these things were happening.
Run away from.
Yeah. So I'm trying to avoid this. I want to be perfect, but you want to take me back. I don't want to go there, you know? And then up until a point where I sat down with myself and be like, Magali, you are a handsome young boy. You have a bright future ahead of yourself. You need firstly to forgive your father and forgive your parents. And by forgiveness, I'm simply saying letting go of the desire to hold them accountable of how my life tend to be. Because there are a lot of things that went wrong. You know, for example, if you are aware or if you're looking at me nicely, you will see that my eyes are not equal, right? This one eye sharp. Really? This one eye sharp is a bit slim. This one is a bit slim, and this is a bit bigger. And the reason why these are like that was because when I check history, my father was giving my mom problems during pregnancy. So I had to get your kapela, I had to get your kapela because of, you know, I don't understand the complications.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. So when they took me out, but then right now, starting to also blame them. Right now, I cannot see clearly, and it's all your fault. And right now, I didn't get all these opportunities, and it's all your fault. Right now, my life does not make sense. It's all your fault. But up until I learned to remove the desire, to hold them accountable for their past mistakes. And I got to learn that everybody makes mistakes. And at the end of the day, no parent is a perfect parent. You know, they will make mistakes now and then.
But that means no human being is a perfect human being.
Yeah, so it was all of those things at that time. Then that's when I started to go for the second time to counseling. And guess what? I never finished the term because at the middle of it, I was like, yes, you see, now I'm becoming the person that I want to be. Right now, I'm starting to establish who am I. Because at that time, I was living just life as it comes. You wake up, what can I do today? Let me sleep. Then you sleep. But right now, I started to develop intentions. Morale, go and do 1, 2, 3. That's how my transition from depression happened. And that's what led me to depression. Hence, I said it was a cause versus effect. The effect of it was that I got into relationships. I was lazy. I even failed all my modules. There was a time where I failed all my modules. It was impossible because I was studying. And I went to write, 26, how come? I cross-nighted, I did this. I went to write my second exam, 14, I went to the doctor, and then I'm the antidepressant or something.
Antidepressants.
Yes, he gave me that, and he advised me to always try to speak about my feelings. And then I failed the whole semester. But yeah, here right now, I'm flying high. So that was just a bit of my own story.
A bit, a bit. Like you went
There's
in.
more.
That was raw. That was a whole lot of information, and I'm gonna try and just take you back a bit, and so that also the people that are watching and listening, or the ones that will be catching up here, they can also follow the story.
Okay.
So you mentioned how you there was a void, like you Howley boarding school. There was this innate need. Ya gore, where's my father? Where's my mother? Why am I alone? Right?
Yeah.
Or you brought me in this world. Now linshile. What am I supposed to do now? Because I'm here because of you, and now you guys have left me. The first thing that you mentioned, and then the second one was, I think also when you said when your girlfriend dumped you, you couldn't handle it because I think for me, what speaks to is firstly, as a young child, you are thinking, my parents rejected me. And those are the people that I loved the most. Those are the people that I trusted would take care of me and guard me with their lives, but they rejected me. Then the second one, my girlfriend, the one person that I pushed people away for, the one person that I chose, I'm stopping with multiple partners. I'm stopping with living this life. Direction. I'm focusing on her. Then she rejects me again. And I can imagine how that pushes you back into a dark corner. Right. And then just as you are trying, okay, I'm taking my life back, I'm doing this and this, second rejection happens. And that, I think for me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's just another uh like validation ya gore yes, I like people are banyaki. Why should I? And I think that's why you also try to commit suicide or give this thing ya gore the people that I care about are leaving me, the people that I value are leaving me. Why must I continue living? Why must I continue living? And at that point in time when all of this is, I can gather you are still young, you're only 23 now, you're probably in your teens, you're still 19, you're still 19. And at that point, how was it going home in that state? Or I'm at varsity, I'm going through all of these changes, and now I'm going to my mother, and the one person that I need comfort from is there. How was that? How was the relationship? Did the relationship change while at varsity? Okay, first question: did your parents ever know about your attempted suicide? Did they ever find
Yeah.
out? So
Yeah.
how? Okay, talk me through that, Horeb. Going through all of that and now having to go home. How was it? How did it go?
I will not lie to you, ne? I didn't like going home
I can
because
imagine.
yeah, you go home as strict as my mom is, you cannot even go out. So still in my varsity years, she'll say, I don't want to go to work after 6. Right.
Come out like
And then
freedom, your campus life. Freedom, your
yeah, and
campus
then
life. You go out the whole night to work at 3 a.m. You get home bareng wana ga wake at 6.
yeah. So I remember one time I even had to sit her down. Get it? Pila pila, I will never grow in your eyes, ne? Because at that time, like Tagatsaka, they were not in the house by 6. I mean, it's not like I'm still young and I'm going to play soccer or anything. I'm going for socials, you know. And then I will only go home kadi Christmas, like I'll leave Pretoria on the 24th of December. And they've tried to punish me at some point, but some picture takes. I mean, so that I have to come back home early. They'll just say, okay, Mal, you're done writing. Right? And that pushed me into being independent as possible. I remember I drove a taxi at the age of 21. I get driver taxi then. Give it a bed. Yeah, to carry myself along. For okay, I'm gonna make money. So I went, got driver taxi. It was okay, and all of that. That's when I got the access to I'll go home whenever I like. because now I'm in control. I'm in control of my finances. So I'll go home whenever I like. But it created a tension because I cannot talk to you about issues because of how you treat me, And right now, at that particular time, I remember very clearly, I'll just go home and lock myself in the room. Go out when necessary. So they'll call me, then go back to my room. Go sit with them like 30 minutes, then go back to my room. And all of that were happening at that particular moment in time. So the time I've tried to speak out. There was that bar again. Or I appreciate you. We are doing this for you. We are doing that for you. Okay, you are a spoiled brat. You think the facility revolve around when, and not everything is about you. No. And then I took it and came back Mogauteng. And that was my journey. That's when I think that's when I even met the like of yourself, Liberal Coach Tabiso and others, and that gave me an opportunity also to say, okay, Mogale, right now prioritize you. Because there was a time where I was doing things because Mama got rain. I cannot do this. But I learned to start by myself to say, no, Mal, but also you are as important as your parents, you're as important as your family, you're as important as your friends, you're as important, just like any other person. So once I started to change that narration, I think one of the statements that made me to be like this even now was the statement my coach said, Aramale, you need to look yourself as an opportunity because you are an opportunity. And once I started to
greatest opportunity.
Yes. So once I started to view my life in that direction, to say, no, Mogale, people are also scared to lose you. So it mustn't be that, I don't know, I'm head there. You are an opportunity. That changed my life completely.
And we thank Coach Tembi. Hi, Coach T. we thank her because had she not stepped in at the time that she did and helped you in when you were just coming out and realizing and starting to value yourself, she played a huge role in that. And we thank her for this breakthrough, right? Now I want to speak about, now you are older, you are trying to speak to mom. All this time, you were living and trying to please mom. I can imagine the relationship was not okay, I guess, because obviously the relationship, and now you're trying to do things not for yourself, but you're trying to do things so that she can warm up to you, so that she can accept you. And here is mom again rejecting you. Or no, that's not how we do things. Mom still not validating you. Mom still not acknowledging you. And Kamo, you are trying to say, I'm your child. Can you love me the way I want you to love me? Can you accept me the way that the way that I am? And to me, this speaks to how childhood trauma can also add to people being depressed. Because most of the time we look at this person is depressed, but we don't look into what brought them there, what drove them there. We just look at, like when you are saying, you are selfish, or because now you think the world revolves around you. But you're just a child wanting attention from your parents. You're just a child saying, Mom, I cry for help. I need you to love me. I need you to be here with me. So with all of that, how did you, after you decided for enough is enough? Now I'm gonna start taking care of Mogale. Now I'm gonna start and go out there and do the things that Mogale has always wanted to do. How was the transition? How easy was it, or how challenging was it for you? This is how I've been doing things, and I've been in the dark. I've been in this dark hole, but now I'm coming out. My coach has helped me realize that I am the greatest opportunity. Like I'm out there looking for people and thinking, yeah, I want to grab an opportunity, but look at Morale. Morale is the opportunity. So how was that realization and the journey leaping from this into now the new Morale that has found himself and found actually I'm an opportunity and people are lucky to be hanging around me. How was the transition?
It was the worst stage of my life. I'll put it in that manner, because right now my family was starting to say, "You wanna be a public speaker? Well, which like you achieved nothing. What are you gonna tell people?" I was invited to speak at the church Father's Day event. The church gave me like a standing ovation. Like, wow. I showed my mom and my family the video. I remember my uncle saying, so that's when I learned to create boundaries, to say, okay, I understand this is my family, but I'm going to love them from a distance and do me. And other people along the line, they've tagged. I met amazing strangers. So I met the likes of Coach Tabiso, I met William Baloyi, I met Ausdineo, I met a lot of people along the way that were genuine to help me, right? So that were also genuine enough to support me. Those were my cheerleaders to say, yeah, man, you can do it, you can do it. And it kept me going to a stage where that's when it got to me what the biggest support system is yourself. So right now, when it comes to the shift now that Morale is this, how is the family reacting, right? Mm-hmm. What's happening is, not to paint any bad picture, but I think the issue with family is the power that comes with money. That right now we're going to listen to you because of something to show for it. Right now we can start to do things for our own. Right now you can call us or regular whatever that we want, And right now you get a certain level of respect that you ask yourself, but where was this all along that I needed you? To a certain extent, that a lot of things that I was doing, they were never aware of it. So I will go to radios that did not know. And for all that it matters, I did not care whether they know or not. So it was up until a point where my mom one time called me and said, "But man, why some put your radio?" And I was like, "You are calling because sesi ito phone it. Right now you feel like I'm not a good parent. Why next and there was something else to say. Right now you are battling things because Babona Modika young, and they're also afraid, or what can he say? We want to portray this image to say, no, we weren't that bad. So that is the transition. Right now, after I've released my book, a lot of them are like, Male, refer to copy. I'm like, you're a principal. As I'm going to one. Right now, when I get all these interviews, you want to support me. What are you hiding? And this, I think, is one of the elements that lead people to depression. That the people that are supposed to lift you up, they in fact down. Yeah, they pull you down. And when right now the concept just spring, when you pull up, they start to say, no, let's meet at that level. And I'm grateful now because we can have engagements. I can sit them down and be like, I don't like 1, 2, 3, 4. And because right now there's a power they can listen. Yeah. But besides this, it was a completely different story. Public speaking. You try to tell them the kind of projects that you're involved in, they did not care. You try to say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, they did not care. Up until a point where my mom was even realized that Mahal wrote a book and the book is out. It was like, Mahal, we published a book. I'm like, that's besides the point. The point is the book is out now.
The book
and then,
yeah.
And then that's when you start to see them wanting to support you now. To say, no, I don't really share. Let's do that. Now, so that is just a bit of my dilemma of how everything turned out to be. That the people that were pulling me down right now, they say, no, I don't want to. Hey, on a little interview, hey, this, that, hey, da, 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 da. But one of the things that I'm grateful for now is the fact that at least I have a voice. Though it took me time, but at least I can have honest conversations. Because recently, I think about a few months ago, I set my mom down that I realized, correct, unconsciously, you were hard on me because I was a reminder. Yeah, Papa because we look alike. Not Papa Gatwan. And she actually admitted that yes, Mal, Papa. And you because when I track down the memory lane, like I'm it was the normal way. Like he will beat you up, she will beat you up and like, but and that time, debate, still there was no support. Debate, like I had done a lot of things in trying to please everybody and forgetting myself. Hence, right now, I am the biggest opportunity.
like wow. Like as you were speaking there, Onalim, there's one of the coaches that like saying life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you and it happens through you, and how or now the very people that in the beginning were not supportive, now they are being supportive because now unale power, now you have a voice. Sometimes it takes rejection from the close knit circle to propel you, or you want to push yourself to do better because now I actually can. And sometimes rejection is the biggest motivator. Oh, you are looking down at me, you think I can't do it. Let me show you that I can do it. And as you're saying now, you are starting to do things for yourself. It's a testament of you can't pour from an empty cup because previously you've been trying to give things that you did not have. But now that you are aware of yourself, you've become aware of yourself, you are able to give more of yourself. And it's gotten you. And we mentioned at the beginning that you're an author. Now you are even saying, my book is out. We want to see the book. You told me it's your clutch bag.
Here's the book.
The Untold Truth About Pain.
Yeah, and then How to Turn Your Pain into Power as a subtitle.
Tell me more about what's the book about.
Yeah, so this book tells more about my own journey. And there's also a chapter that I dedicated to women specifically. I call it The Power of Women. Because there are a lot of women that played a role in me being this person. Just to give you a bit of example, I did mention Aus Dineo, which even right now, I remember we were editing my ebook together. And then he said we edited, I think, up until 12. I was having an event on that day. I was supposed to be up at 6. No, I at 3. And I did not pay him.
Wow.
But she woke up to help me edit for the next 3 hours. Well, we've been busy as it from 9 until 12. We're not done. We will wake up at 3 and finish it off. And that to me was so priceless. Hence, I came with these theories of the things that I observed about women and the things that I about women. Take it in society. So it just tells you a bit of my story, my absent father, how that affected me, a bit of my childhood again, my friendships, how were my friendships at that particular age and time, and about romantic relationships, where it also tells you about certain traits of cheating, how to heal a broken heart as a subtitle. So I explain all of those concepts and all of the theories as a pain advocate that I was able to come up with that might help every reader out there to go back and start to reevaluate themselves and reevaluate their lives, to say, I'm not in this journey alone. So this is a book, in a nutshell, I can say, is that friend. When you're going through circumstances, is there for you. Because when you read through it, it's an emotional book, I cannot lie. Like, I wrote it, after publishing it, I think I could my own self. Because it's too emotional for me to go
through. You're scared of your own story. You are scared of your own story.
Yes. Remember, right now, I think I only have like 2 years setting to start to share my story. It's still painful. It's still emotional. Like yesterday, I was explaining to a friend of this one time, and that clip, still even today, it hits home when I remember what we give it to post phone bail. And then I was trying to run or phone now. And at that moment, I remember, and I was like, but because it's not like I wanted to fall on purpose. There was the issue where I was running so heavily so that I can give you your phone because it's ringing.
You know? Like I can imagine I'm trying to tusha you here and one better. Like,
and not just word. Like, do you know
K clap? I get it from K and then clap. Wow.
So it's still painful even now, but I'm at a better state to get share about it and engage with different stakeholders kind of.
Yo. Like, you are emotional now. I'm also getting emotional. And I can imagine. But like you're saying, pain. What's the title? The Untold Truth About Pain. The subtitle, turning your pain.
How to turn your pain into power.
And that's exactly what you've done. You've used your story that's painful, your story that brings painful memories, and you're turning it into power, and you are helping Batho Kayona. And I think what makes it so powerful is that you share it openly. Like, even in this conversation, the past almost an hour now, you've been sharing so openly. Like, and I think that's what makes you relatable. I don't want to say normal, but story o bophelo bya motho ka mo gore botsebang ka mo gore botlaetsong ka gona gore sometimes ha o le ngwana rena Basotho ha o e ngwana, these things happen, and we're supposed to accept them as normal because that's the norm. Gore ge ngwana le yo monyane, you don't have a voice. Ge ngwana at a certain age, a muthele ja bolela le wena as motswadi because ke wena motswadi o kwa ka wena, and you are silenced. But now you have used all of that, and it's given you the power to write the book, and through the book you are voicing your story, and it's a powerful story. And you're saying you're still new in sharing it. Keep sharing it. You don't know how many other lives you are going to change, and how many other people's thinking it's going to impact, because then they will see you are not alone. And that is the aim of this conversation, to say to somebody out there, you are not alone. Somebody before you has gone through it and is here to tell the story. I mean, it's not like when at least 60 and you're telling your story. You are 23. Only 2000. I'm not stop saying 2000. I like saying but 2000. Like, I'm here thinking. So I'm here thinking, when I was done with my high school, when I was done with my matric, and you've lived, like, you have so many stories like that you are telling, and you are so young, and also I go back to, not many people get a chance to tell the story while they're still young. Babang ba emela until batufeji and they want to tell their story. But here you are as a young person that said, I'm an advocate for pain because I know pain. I've lived through pain. I'm an advocate for pain because I know what it feels like to be in pain. And I'm going to coach those people that are in pain because I know what pain looks like and I know what pain feels like. So for that, well done. Like, well done, well done, well done. o tswele pele o ska fela matla modimo go fe matla gore o kgone go tswela pele. And as you saying or now you're getting gigs to speak and speak, I'm just hoping king na we are in May now, next month youth month. I'm just putting it out there gore may you be booked in all the like most places where you do youth day things and whatever, so that more and more young people can get to hear of your story, can get to hear how you pulled through. And you said already help was offered the first time you said for counseling. It didn't help because it was ready. But the second time when you when you decided now I want help, it's only then that it was effective because you were ready for it. You wanted it because you wanted to get out of that dark space. And like guys, like no re bolela Sepedi wa tsa rundi ya gore ke bolela like o nkishitse kwa leboa kgomo. And now I'm tempted gore ke am judge ke ape kilobedi bjalo, but hey, we're not gonna go there. But like well done. Like I think we are laughing now, but we're also trying to create awareness for it. Sometimes what we feel is normal is actually depression, because we are so used to saying but you are actually going through something. You are going through something big. You are going through a mental illness, a mental health disorder. And again, thank you for opening up to us and for wanting to share your story. I know we were going to have you for an hour, and I understand you have to dash off. Before I let you go, to a young person that's out there, I think I'm depressed, but I'm not sure. All that Mogale is saying, I can relate because I've gone through it. What's your advice to that young person? Or to Mutswadi? So it twofold. To the young person that thinks they're depressed and they're not sure, what are the telltales? What should they do? Or what must they do or out of that? And to Batswadi, number two, we are talking now to the parents. How can you tell if your child is depressed or is in that state?
Fantastic stuff. So firstly, I want us to go back a bit and understand that each generation is different, right? So it's not because that's how a child must be raised.
Hey.
Okay, so I'm saying this because you can look what's happening now, generation number 2000. They seek attention, they seek recognition, they want to voice out because of what's happening currently around them, right? So you need to be another version of self, or if you can't, then human coach, because there are tiny little things we tend to overlook. For example, having an honest conversation and a genuine conversation one have. We'll say, okay, now that I see that you're 18, what are your plans? Also, okay, only girlfriend currently. Mom. Yeah. Yeah, because these are conversations that will make your kids to relate to you and to want to tell you about certain other aspects of their life that you're not aware of. Remember, there's a person that you think your child is, and there's a person that your child wants to be, and the person that your child really is. You get it? So, doctor, maragi doctor, or doctor. Right? So those are the three types of stages. The person that your child is,
you've been listening
the person
to
that you
Mzansi
think
Urban
is,
Podcast.
and the
For
person
more
that he wants
podcasts,
to be.
visit mzansiurban.co.za
So you want to track all
or
of
subscribe
this
to wherever you get your podcasts.
Right now. Because remember, right now, they can easily hide it to you, right? But you want to have these honest conversations, genuine conversations about what's happening in their own lives. And then to a young person, I will say, I know things don't make sense. I know that you've been judged. I know that you feel like voicing out does not matter.
Preach it.
So at that particular moment in time, I know ufilogar aurati or abaonyak, right? But one advice that I will give it to you, you are as important as other people, and you are an opportunity yourself. Remember, if right now we are 1 million in the world, for example, if we lose you, riba 999,000 rand, right? So now, it changes the whole scenario. So it means that you also add value to the world. Because the statistics of the entire world changes that you are not there. But right now that you are there, you still have a value, and you still need to share that value with other people.
Now I understand why you get called to speak at all these. That's power right there. To the young person, you add value, you matter, and you are a great opportunity. Before you dash, Morale, where can people find your book? Where is your book available? Okay. The last time you were selling it from your boot or with the take is it in books? Where is your book now? How do people get hold of your book? And you also mentioned the ebook. So,
Okay, so I have an ebook out called The Dark Side, which speaks to addiction and what led me into being addicted. Hence, I told you that there's still more to the stories that we shared about.
Coming back for that story.
Coming back for the second one.
Yeah.
So it talks about addictions and a true definition of certain addictions, because there are morally accepted addictions and there are immorally accepted addictions. They vary. They are okay. For example, I mentioned this last time as I was speaking. I'm not addicted to chippies. And are we born into it because it's morally accepted? But some are addicted to phone, you know. So addiction does not mean or there are various types of addictions, and you need to know or learn how addicted to it. So in terms of my hard copy, right now I'm still the only seller of it, or you can buy it on Amazon. Just search The Untold Truth About Pain, Mogale Molala, you'll find it. Or you can send me a WhatsApp on 072 572 0676. Ke tlo repeat go radio 072 572 0676.
Idea ka sepedi noto super pedi idea ka sepedi ba fe nomoro ya go ka sepedi.
Hey, nomoro jo very better. Somewhere along those lines.
But we'll your contact details on the comment section, so that whoever that wants to contact you for the book or even for speaking engagements, they can phone you or WhatsApp you on that number. Our email address?
Kena leona ke Mogale Molala 09 is my birthday date at gmail.com. So Mogale Molala 09 at gmail.com.
Okay, and then Mogale was Pedi wa G is in what 8.
Yeah.
It's in and then Morale, on social media, where do people find you? What are your handles? What social media platforms are you on?
Accessible, ne?
Yeah.
I could taste my 2000. Either way, on social media, on Facebook, I am Mogale Molala. It's either you're gonna find my page or myself. And then on YouTube, you can search Mogale Molala. On both Twitter and Instagram, I am the Pain Advocate. So just search the Pain Advocate, you'll find me on Twitter and on Instagram. But on Facebook, I am Mogale Molala, and also on YouTube. If you want to see more of my content, you can go there. You'll see more of the work that I do, but most importantly, the work that I love. Thank you.
So even your contact details, your social media handles, let you on the comment section so that you had MGD the motivator. If that page.
You know, more people want to lead the levels. Oh,
just
I'm the man. But yeah, that one I sabereka. Leverage up right now. I am Mohale, Mr. Mohale Malala. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Mohale Malala on Facebook, the personal page, the personal profile, and your page, and then the Pain Advocate on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes.
All right. So the hour, if our 60 minutes is up, but like you said, you're gonna come back over the dark side of addiction and many other things in between. And with next month being Youth Month, who knows, we might invite you and motivate them. And Anakaspedi, so before we let you go, what are your final words, your parting words to people that might have been with us here during the conversation here on Facebook and on YouTube, and the ones that will be catching up on the podcast tomorrow? What is your message to them? What do you want them to take away from this whole hour?
Before, I'm not as the 2000 to think, ne? One question I think it's Brenda Fass. I am not say Brenda Fass. Was it even Chakalaka? I can't remember the but it says, I am burning up, my house is on fire, right? You know the song. I'm burning up. Yes. So right now I'm burning up, is saying that, but it's fine. In my final words, I'll say pain is not the enemy here, but a true friend. Because it's indeed in pain that we find growth, but most importantly, in vulnerability that we find strength to bounce back. So don't forget, allow yourself to go through the process. Don't try to run away as I did, because we'll go the head. So if you don't want to get head up, you can clearly go through the process. Pain is not the enemy, but a true friend. Because trust me, Mganwami, in pain, you're going to grow. But most importantly, in pain, it's going to lead you to self-discovery. I want to get a pain advocate. Thank you very much.
All I'm going to say is, we give you love. We appreciate
Ndikuthanda nyanyana.
Rikolibua, we rakenta. We thank you for spending the hour with us. Go out there and do what you love. And to everybody, thank you for joining us. This was Men Up with Tshidi Lethwane, your girl from Bulobedu. Today we brought you from Limpopo to the world, right? Because we are conquering the world. Thank you so much for joining us. See you again next week. Siani Tanda.